right now.
The other option would just be to record your screen with
Yeah,
like a regular screen
but
recorder and your voice.
I like that you guys are gonna be able to comment.
All right.
And I can share my screen too. Okay, screen share, entire screen, go. Whoa! This default background, like this just came, like this. I don't know what operating system had this background, but I really
That
like
I
it.
think that's like
It's a default, or it's not default, but
I
it's just like one
s-
of the ones you can pick. I was like pretty impressed. Usually I don't like the default ones. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna open Premiere, and I think I have like a little bit older version of Premiere on this computer. It's my iMac, and it's like not my best. But my laptop has a better one, but who cares?
I actually got the newer one on this
You have
computer.
CC
Yeah.
215.
Yeah.
I like this Infinity. Yeah, as you can see, it's taking a little bit to open because I'm on my slow computer, but that's okay.
I'm thinking about doing the paying like monthly to get my a new MacBook Pro. I'm just scared that's just gonna be another bill I can't afford.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on how much you want to use it. I mean,
I mean, I just need it in general, really. Also
okay.
been thinking about getting a reel-to-reel, like an old like reel-to-reel recorder.
Oh yeah. Jason has one of those, I think. I think they've recorded a few things on it. Do you just want for fun? I don't know. That's just like records. It's like it's cool, but like is that really going to get you anything? Is that gonna
No,
sound much different than just like a decent microphone? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's creating a limitation that you don't really need.
yeah, I mean, I know what you mean, but I don't know. I kind of just like the idea of it. It looks kind of fun,
Yeah, it does.
but probably kind of annoying too.
So uh your guys' splash screen looks like a website, but I think there's somewhere in there that says like create a new project, right?
Yeah, I click new project.
So one of the things about like video editing is where in other programs like music editing and other things, they sort of like organize your files for you, but because it's like video files, I don't know, for some reason like you have to organize everything for you. So I'm just gonna start on the desktop and I'm gonna do a new folder. So this is what you always like whenever you start a project, you want to like make a new folder structure for your project. So I'm just going to call this Trashcast because that's what I'm doing. And then within that first folder, I'm going to make a folder called PROG, stands for projects, and that's where I'm going to save the project. So it's like a folder for the whole project, and then another folder that's called project. And Trashcast is what I'm calling this. Scratch. So scratch disks oftentimes that means like so when you do video editing to handle the video files the computer creates like temporary lighter video files and the scratch disk is asking you where do you want me to put those temporary files, and so that's kind of important if you have limited space on your computer and you want to like do it on an external hard drive or whatever. And I usually like to just put them in the same, it by default puts them in the same folder as the project, and that's usually a good thing. As you can see, it says like all these different types of video and where it wants to put them in, and usually it's just next to the project. So you don't, unless you have limited space, just keep it how it has it. If you want to put the scratch disk somewhere else, you can. So now we're gonna open the project. Did I say
Oh,
create?
and then all the default settings for general like time code and audio samples.
Yeah, don't worry about that now because like that's based on like what sequence you're doing. That's not really like that you can change that afterward. You're not like tied to those settings when you start a new project. Oh fuck, I gotta sign in. Do you think that they've shut down my Adobe Creative Cloud account because I quit last week?
We're about to find out.
Well, I mean, I'm using my old address, so we'll see.
That's what I'm saying.
I really doubt.
Oh.
Hold on. I don't remember what my password is, so it might not be that. What was my password? Okay, there we go. It's okay. I think we're all right. Close call. I have like a variation, like the same password but variations of it, and so I always have to try all of them. So now you're seeing the default workspace. What do I like? I like this. I like the workspace called Editing CS 5.5 because I don't know, you'll see. I like to have my project window over here, which is like, this is like all of your media and all the things you're going to make, all the things you're going to put in the video. I like to put them over here. And I like to have like the effects window right here. And then this is like your sample window, this is your program window, and this is your sequence. These are your tools.
I don't see that workspace.
I mean, you can drag your own. Like, you guys probably have it more like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could take this project window if you just want to make it like this is the only difference. I don't know why I did that. The only difference is take this project window, and you see like these purple things. You can, if you drag it and make it so that it's on this square, but this little purple thing lights up, it'll put that over there, the project window over there. And that's pretty much what I already had. So I don't know. Just do that. So in here, what I like to do too, like again, like organization is like kind of what you want to start doing when you video edit, because when you start getting a lot of elements, this space will just turn into like a trash heap. So organization is like really good. So I always make a few different folders in here. If you click this thing down here, it says new bin. I guess they're called bins, not folders, whatever. And these two buttons down here, like you can view this folder either as like icons or as a list. It doesn't really matter. I kind of prefer the list right here. So one folder I call sequence, or SEQ for sequences. Another folder, media. Do one called audio. And then another one called GFX for graphics. And this is all subjective. Like I mean, I think I probably have some good advice because I've been a video editor for like a fucking decade. So I think these are like, even though these are what I do, I think they're pretty good rules. So now let's import our media. So Zach, I'm gonna go back to our folder, our original folder on our desktop, and next to the project folder, I'm gonna make a new one called media. And I downloaded, so we recorded our podcast the other day the same way we're doing this onto Google, and so I just downloaded the YouTube video from there, and just throw the video from the Trashcast into your media folder before you drag it into Premiere, because that will just like keep it organized. Because if you just drag it from your desktop, I don't know, it just makes it easier so that when you need to like move this file around, you can just take this main folder and everything will be in it and nothing will be disconnected when you try to open the project again. I think I'm gonna make it. Even though audio is media, usually audio is separate for me. So like I make another folder called odd, because I usually have like a thing called like another folder in here called like music, called VO for voiceover. Another folder called SFX for sound effects. This is all like really boring stuff, but like seriously, organization is like it'll keep you from going crazy. I think for me and you, Zach, since we recorded the Trashcast was recorded straight into Google Hangouts, but if you want to do what we want to do is use my audio that I recorded on a nice microphone and put that replace my audio with good audio and your audio with better, whoever recorded better audio. We want to place that in there. Maybe I'll make a separate folder called I don't know, mics. And that, where did I put that file? Where did I put that? I think it's on here. Oh, yeah. So here's my audio. I'm gonna throw that in the mics folder. This is gonna take a second to transfer. Did I put that somewhere else? I was watching this fashion show the other day. Look what's in. Chanel double eyebrow.
Whoa.
Every single model had a double eyebrow.
That's great. It's about time.
I know, right? It's weird that nobody thought of the double eyebrow till now. But yeah. So okay. So that's just that's organized now. So now we can start putting things in Premiere. So let's go to media. Oh, before I guess. A quick B-side. Let me just say it real quick. Go to your preferences. Go to General. And in this main window down here when it says bins and it says double click, just say open in place because fuck. When it's default by open a new window, and so every time you click on a bin, it'll open another window, and that just turns into a mess. And so if you just say open in place, it'll just go to here. It'll go to it'll open that folder in the same window, and then if you really want, now I'm in the media folder, and if I want to go back to the main, you just hit this little thing up here, and that'll take you back. That's just the back button. It's just so much. I don't know why that's a default, but okay. So media, me and you, Zach, or Paul, whatever video you're using as your stand-in media.
Mm-hmm.
Go into your media folder, drag your video in. So it's taking a sec. We're getting a little beach.
Did you drag the media folder in, or did you drag the
I just dragged
video?
the file, just a file.
Okay. Into the media folder.
Yeah, I mean you could just drag the media in, but it doesn't keep. It keeps the folder structure only one file deep. So if you were to drag all these, it's hard to explain. It's better to just do your organization separately. It doesn't if you were to drag in your main project window into there, it would only keep your file structure one folder deep.
So the folders that you made in the Finder were just
that's for you.
Stuff?
It's really just for you to organize your stuff well.
And then but for editing, when you're dragging into its own organization.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish that it could just keep I wish there was an exact parallel, but there's not. So it's just you just do the organization separately, but it's a parallel organization. It's exact. I try to keep everything, the folder structure in here, the same as the folder structure in Finder. So yeah, so videos and media. So me and you, Zach, we can go into audio. And Paul, if you have your audio from our podcast, you can drag it in here. So I'm gonna, if you remember, Zach, we made a folder in Finder called mics. So I'm just gonna make the same exact folder in there inside the audio folder called mics.
Okay.
Grab my. I don't know. Do you have your audio or anything, or the one I sent? Mine. I sent you this, right? Did I not send you this?
I'm pretty sure you sent me, but I haven't put it in yet. I haven't put mine in. I think Sean sent me his.
Do you have anything you can use?
Not on this computer. It's all on my computer.
I don't know. How fast do you think you could download it? I can send you. I'm pretty sure I uploaded this.
I'll just get the one you sent me real quick.
Okay. So, like, so far, does this seem like a lot or no?
It's pretty tedious.
I've never talked this stuff out. Like, I've never.
Yeah.
Now that I'm like saying it all out loud, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like fucking like OCD.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna go back and watch this again just because, like, I definitely am like.
Like, all this stuff is not really even editing. This is stuff that I've figured out that I should do before I start a project because I've started projects really messy in the past.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, it'll just create less problems down the road.
Yeah. Especially, like, I mean, this is not going to be these edits that we're doing. Like, Paul's going to have 2 audio files. Like, that's like this is overkill for us for that.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I do like documentaries for work, when I have like a million like B-roll sources and like a ton of different video, like we shoot like hours and hours of video, VO, multiple sequences. Like you can't just have like this project window will be just full of trash and you won't be able to find anything if you need it.
Ryan, do I have your Dropbox?
Mine, all my stuff
of the podcast.
I don't know if I sent it to you, but I sent it to Jordan because we were gonna because our friend Jordan Zach he was like, you and Paul should do a podcast, and so we were like, okay, we'll do it, and so we started recording it, and then we were like, who's gonna edit it? And I was like, maybe Jordan should because he's the one who wanted to hear it, but then he never edited it, so that's why we're doing this now.
Oh, I found it in our chat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should have everything. It's called Ron Paul, right? Because I have Ep1.
Oh, yeah.
I have Ep1, which are both mics, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 10.
Ooh, you record WAV files. That's fancy. Oh, no.
What did you do? One's an AIFF.
Oh my gosh, this is 1.5 gigabytes. It's ridiculous.
I mean, we recorded sometimes we do like 2-hour recordings. It's not even that crazy. I'm surprised it's not larger. Do you have a file, Zach?
I'm about to put it in real quick.
Oh, maybe I can do. I'll show Paul. I guess did we do a clap on? Oh, I guess we didn't. For episode 1 because we were just in the same room.
No, I'm downloading episode 2 because it's got a clap.
Because we'll have a clap, yeah.
Yeah. So far, I've got a music thing that I did for the intro of the podcast, and then my recording, downloading your recording, and I've got a video of my brother playing soccer.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess you can, since you have music, you can go ahead and in your audio folder. Oh wait, I'll share my screen again. You can in your audio folder in Premiere and in Finder, you can make a folder called Music and put what you want the podcast theme song. You can throw that in Music and then make another music folder in Premiere and put that in Music. Zach, I think we're gonna want to have like a lot of like B-roll. I think like when we talk about different Snapchatters and stuff. So like organizing video B-roll for you will be sort of important.
Okay.
If we want to go hard on B-roll, I think we should.
Yeah.
I was thinking about what the intro to our podcast could be, like with the video, since it's video now, like what like the theme song could be, and like what it should look like. And I think I think I'm gonna do some like really shitty 3D of like a bunch of phones flying through the air, like in some trash cans.
Coming out of a trash can.
Yeah, just like coming out of the trash can, shooting out of the trash can, and at the screen's face or something. Just like really stroby. Did you download it, Zach?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't. This is the thing that Sean sent me. I don't think you sent me yours, but I don't know what's wrong with this. I feel like.
What day is it? Oh, yeah, I
Friday.
think. Oh, you did get mine or no?
I don't think.
Here you go. I think this is mine. If you want that. I had my one from last week also, but looks like we'll never use that. Oh, and maybe here, I'll give you... Did you download the Mackenzie video too?
Which one?
Well, because we talked for a second about how you said that you liked how Mackenzie does the thing where she
screams.
She screams. I remember she did that in the story from that day, so I recorded it and put it in the Dropbox.
Wait, did you send that to me just now, or you put it in the?
Put it in the chat, in this video chat, like on the side. I set my audio and the Mackenzie video, if you want, because like that's a good thing that we can use, like for example, like what we should do with B-roll, especially because we're gonna do a lot of Snapchat stuff. So.
Hold on a second. I'm drinking a ton of water right now. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Stop. No. iTunes, like, I accidentally double-clicked your WAV file.
Oh, and it opened it up.
And then iTunes opened it and, like, copying to, like, so it's like, oh, great, now I'm going to have 2 copies of this. And then I don't know if Premiere's going to copy it, too. Let's find out. Bam.
Yeah, there should really be if I could talk directly to Tim Cook, I would say, hey, when you double click an audio file, you don't always want it to open in iTunes. You almost never. Like I'd prefer it be in QuickTime.
Well, you could set that as a default. I should just
really?
do that.
I didn't know. Where is that?
It's typically if you go to a file and then Command I.
Oh, and that says files like this open in this program by default. Yeah, I forgot about that.
There's open with, and so you choose. I'm doing that right now.
Nobody has time to do that.
And then click change off. Yeah, who ever wanted anything to open in iTunes?
Right.
Unless you put like a CD in your computer because you're gonna rip it.
Yeah, and Macs don't even have CD drives anymore, so.
Right. There's still one at Best Buy. There's one MacBook Pro with a CD drive.
Zach, how are you doing on downloading that stuff?
Hold on. I just don't have any.
how much hard drive does the Scratch stuff take up? Is it a lot?
Well, it's just dependent on how much stuff you use. So like not that much for you, since it's just all audio. Not much.
I just have very little storage left.
Like probably this project will be less than a gigabyte for sure, maybe a couple hundred megabytes.
Okay. Even though your audio itself is 1.5.
Yeah, because all it's creating is like an abbreviated version, like it'll be a compressed version, like something for it to work with. It's not creating like something larger. If you were doing like a documentary of tons of hours and hours of footage, like that can be pretty large. There's that. There's that. Thurston really lusts for the outdoors now. Like 2 months ago, he's never been outside in the city at all. And then 2 months ago, we were like, maybe we should see if he can be one of those cats that can walk like a dog outside.
Mm-hmm.
And so we brought him outside. We opened the front door, tried to make him go down the stairs, and then tried to like get him out onto the stoop and onto the sidewalk. And we finally got him out there, and then he just got really scared and hid behind the trash cans right in front of the apartment. But ever since then, he pretends like he wants outside all the time. He's like, "Oh man, I gotta get back out there. I loved it out there. Like the outdoors is like I'm like so close to nature. Like let's just let me out. Come on." But he's just all he did was hit behind.
Have you tried to go out again?
No. I think next time we take him out, we're gonna like kidnap him, like put a bag over his head, and then take him straight to the park so he doesn't associate that door with being outside. He's too smart. He'll never forget.
Thought there's something more to life.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Zach?
Yeah, because I'm on the video chat on my laptop, and I don't have that chat window on this computer I'm working on. So
Give me a copy and put it in like a chat window in like
yeah,
directly.
just a separate one.
Okay, so there's Mackenzie, and there is my audio. I'll have to edit this stream down, or not.
Can you edit these?
I don't know if you can edit them in YouTube, or if I'll just download it and re-upload it. Because this is unlisted. It's not going to be like online. I'm sorry, I guess I should have sent out all the tools.
Alright, hold on, I'm getting these fuckers. I ordered a copy of Kyle Mooney's magazine.
He has a magazine?
Yeah, it's like him and his brother's magazine, and like Um, I think the other guys from Good Neighbor are in there too, like Beck and
It's weird that they're going to the medium of magazine because they're like YouTube people.
I think it was like his brother did it like mainly. That
But
was,
like,
his thing.
what's in it? Is it a comedy magazine?
It's like I don't even really know, but like it's probably good. But they did it before. They were doing it before they were on. Like I think they just do a couple like issues like a year or something.
I just don't know how like I don't know how what he does would translate to a magazine.
I don't know. I think it's like cartoons and stuff. Like
I got this. I went to the. They had like an art book fair last week, but this guy is real good. This guy made I don't know why it's called magazine because it's really just like a comic. Hello? But it's all drawings are based on Belgian newspaper photos and stock photos and internet images searches depicting a variety of people and their activities arranged chronologically by age to create a single narrative. And it's just like this came out last week, but so it's just like it's like a single human life from beginning to end. So there's like genitals, and there's some sex, and there's fertilization, and there's a baby, and then there's like let's see, like there's like a baby being birthed, and then like toddler activities, and then it goes all the way through like just like it's like crazy. It's just a generic human life from beginning to end. It's really good. It's really, really good. Old people home. Getting really old. Death.
I was reading that. I don't know why. I normally go to like McDonald's or something, but after the podcast, I went to Taco Bell, just like where I used to go a lot in high school. So, like I'm not by myself in Taco Bell reading Carl's ebook about Nothing Matters.
Oh man, Nothing Matters. Oh, it's rough, right?
It's pretty intense.
I told you.
I ended up getting extra cinema twists.
Oh really? Because you're like nothing. Like after you read it, you're like, I need some twists.
I still haven't finished it. It's really long.
Oh yeah, I read it all in one sitting. I think it's like a piece of art. Like I wanted to print it out and just like leave it places. I might do that. That's pretty low effort.
okay, I got the Mackenzie Stiff thing. That's good for now.
All right. I guess I just wanted you to have something to sync with, to learn how to like sync to a clap. I mean, that doesn't have it.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm still your file's still coming in.
All right. Well, we can still.
It's about to. Yeah. All right. Just go ahead.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, Paul. We can talk about it next week, but Carl's did write me back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This morning. Yeah. Zach, do you know Hipster Runoff?
Heard of it.
What?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, never mind then. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into screen mode. Okay, so where did we leave off? So yeah, so Zach, you should put my file in like a folder called Mike's. Paul, you should make a folder called music. Drop your whatever you want, like the soundtrack to be into that, or whatever. So I imported my mics. And oh yeah, the Mackenzie folder, Zach. I would do. So in my main folder, next to like project, media, graphic, I would make a folder called graphics. Even though it's not a graphic, I always like to put like the B-roll video, like video that's not the main source. Like since our podcast is the main thing, I do graphics, and then one of the folders I call is vid. So that's like YouTube videos. I would like when I make things for work, I would download like videos from around the internet to like reference, and so I throw that in vid. So I put Mackenzie in there. And same thing, parallel folders in Premiere. Call bid for B-roll. Drag the Mackenzie video into vid. Okay, I think, is everybody on the same page now?
Yep.
Okay, so your Paul, whatever like your audio is, wherever you go to your audio, but Zach, you should go to your video, the Trashcast MP4.
Yep.
And drag that down to this little thing that looks like a piece of paper with like a little fold in it down here. What that means is like new sequence. And so what it's going to do is look at that video file and say like, okay, so that video file is this 720p 60 frames a second or whatever like the video file is, and it'll make a sequence based on what that file was, because you can make a new sequence and you can like do all the settings. Like I can say like I want this to be like normally I do like 23 frames a second.
Wait, how'd you get that new sequence window open?
So the same piece of paper that you dragged onto, new item, click that, and then there's a little pull down. You can do all kinds of stuff, but one of the top one is sequence. And
But you don't have to do that part. You can just drag it in.
yeah, I mean I do it for work, but like for us, since we're just going to use this Hangouts video as our main thing, you can just do that. I guess this is sort of disorganized now because I would rather throw this Trashcast thing in our main sequences. Like
the sequence ended up in
next to it. So, I mean, you can go up to your main folder as long as they're in the list mode. Just your media, take that. The sequence. The sequence is the thing that looks like little bars, and the thing under it, and you can like drag that into the sequences folder if you want to like keep it organized.
Okay, so I put one audio in, but I need to put the second one in too.
So yeah, so you dragged your audio into the new sequences, and so your audio, the reason why you do that is like audio is like 48 kilobytes per second or 44.1, depending on what it is, but the sequence will be whatever that audio is.
Yeah, yours was 44 and mine was 48, so I'm gonna see what happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, mine will conform to whatever yours. You could do whatever you want.
It'll figure it out.
Yeah, I guess you should probably do 48. I don't know which one's better to like make the sequence. I'm not sure if the sequence should be 48 or 44, but it should be fine.
I went with 44.
So now we have our sequence down here, and so you see V1 and A1. There's a little line below A1. If you hover your mouse over that and you see the little arrow with the two like up and down arrow, drag that down, and then that'll make that little layer larger, and you'll be able to see the sound waves. And I guess we can go back a little bit if we want. I mean, so yeah. I guess we were fucking around for a long time here. So Zach, are you on the same page?
Yeah, that was you just drug down A1 to make it fatter, right?
Yeah, so Paul, same thing. Like you'll be able to see, just so you can see the audio waves.
Okay.
If you guys want to, you can make these any color you want. If you right-click it and then do label, you can change it. Say Paul, if you have like 2 different audios, you can like make them 2 different colors. Now, so that's how you make a sequence. Let's do the keystrokes. Let's add my custom keystrokes. So go to Premiere Pro, keyboard shortcuts, and you'll pop up with this little window. And a lot of people, I was telling Zach, I started showing this to Zach last week. A lot of people, if they edit in Final Cut or they started in Final Cut, and so they like to use the Final Cut keyboard layout, but I've always been Premiere, and I don't know, I like it better. So you're starting on Premiere Pro, but we're going to do some customizations. The first one is going to be search the word in the search bar, search the word edit, and you see how it says add edit under the little sequence thing? And right now it's Command K, but I just like to highlight that and then just do the letter Q. It's going to be like, well, it's like there's already a thing. It was already used by Ripple Trim, previous edit, so you sure you want to do that? And you're like, yeah, I do. I do want to do that. Next one, enable. And that is under application clip. And right now it's Shift Command E. Fuck that. We're just going to make it straight E. That was already another thing. Yeah, no, shut up. And so we're going to do ripple. Looks like I already have. Oh, yeah, mine's W. Is yours W?
Ripple trim next edit to playhead.
Yeah.
W.
Yeah, no, fuck that. R.
Whoa.
And then ripple trim to previous playhead, we're going to change that to W. So as you can see, these are like Q, W,
Ripple
E,
trim
R.
previous edit to playhead? Wait, it doesn't have anything now.
Ripple
right?
trim, yeah, you just like click in it.
Okay.
So like you notice, like I have Q, W, E, R. Like those are all on a line on the keyboard. Like those are your main jam keys. The only other one that we want to do is search the word audio, and under sequence, apply audio transition. That's Shift Command D right now. Change that to like colon, or I guess it's semicolon, just like not Shift, just like the colon key. Yeah, I think that's all the custom keys I do. Yeah, that's all of them. So now that we've changed a bunch of stuff, you can save this keyboard layout in case you lose it or you like accidentally change it into something else. You can name it whatever you want. And that's your custom keys. So another thing I like to do, this is just something that like I like to do. I showed Zach the other week. If you go into preferences and then label colors, I like to go in here and make these a little poppier. Just because like you're gonna be looking at this program a lot, you may as well make it something you like to look at. So you can change these to any colors you want. It doesn't really matter. I like just make like they're like kind of muted right now, and it's like I just want to make them hot. I don't know if that's something you care about, but I just like to make them hot. Yeah, look at that. So much nicer. So now let's do some syncing. So Zach, I guess I gotta. This is like on my. I don't know if your guys' audio in the if you press play on your sequence, is it coming out of your computer or is it coming in your headphones?
It's in my headphones.
Okay, I'm using like this mic, so I have to change my audio hardware to the mic just so I can hear it in there. So did that do it? There we go. Okay. So Zach, let's scrub through, and Paul scrub through and try to find our clap.
Okay.
Try to find where we did the clap. Everybody was peeing and stuff for a long time. Okay, it looks like it was about 20 minutes in where we finally got started.
Yeah, it was pretty far. I don't. Were we starting after
Oh, sorry.
the G.G. Allen thing? Or?
I mean, you could throw that back in. I mean, this is just to show you how to like sync.
Yeah.
So how do you scrub? Do you just drag the thing?
Yeah, you just drag the little.
Because I keep on scrolling ahead and then it like snaps me right back.
Oh, what? Oh, I'm not sure what's going on, but like one quick thing that is another like preference that I like to change. General, like right at the beginning. I should probably have done this. There's these little things that say at playback end, return to the beginning. No, don't do that. Play work here after rendering previews. Nah, you don't want that. Another thing.
Wait, hold on. What was that again?
Basically, there's these all these like check. Basically, just
Okay.
uncheck all these things. They're all stupid.
Okay. And then wasn't there one that frames or seconds or something that you should change?
Yeah. So audio transition default duration. So remember when we did the colon? So basically that'll come back into play. So I like to change this to frames and just do like 2 frames. So that means like whenever you hit that key, whenever you like make a cut and then you want a nice smooth audio transition between 2 things, then you can just hit colon and it'll do a crossfade that's 2 frames long. So it'll be very quick, but it'll cover up that little like clippy sound. Like.
Okay.
I forgot about another. There's another keystroke that I've set up recently, but we'll talk about that later. All right. So we gotta find the clap. Oh wait, was that it? Oh yeah, there it was. So it looks like it's at 26:49, Zach, for you and me.
Okay.
So, I forgot. I'm doing a bunch of stuff that you guys don't know. So, right now you probably see this whole bar, which is for us, it's like an hour and 30 minutes. If you want to zoom in to like look at individual waveforms, your plus and minus keys zoom in. So wherever your cursor is, if you start hitting plus, it'll start zooming in to that spot.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so plus or minus will get you out of that. So Zach, and then using the arrow keys just moves you frame by frame. So moving forward, frame by frame, frame by frame. So Zach, we want to put a marker. We want to go right where you see the first clap, like right there. Even though my hands aren't making the... I guess I kind of want to go to where you actually see my hands meet. Hands. I guess not. Let's just go off the audio. Like, just put it right where the clap sound happens. Right? And then we're going to hit the W key.
Hold on a second. Let me make sure. Okay.
And now if you go hit your minus a lot, and if you notice, we're all the way like that, where we hit W, that was called ripple trim. And what that means is it will take your cursor at that point and push it all the way back to the next cut. And since there were no cuts, it pushed it all the way back to the beginning. So our
So that basically marked the beginning.
that marked the beginning. So clap.
Wait.
Nick loved that. So now.
What was that thing that you said about ripple trim?
So W. So when you were on that spot, the part where you saw the clap, you hit W, and so that ripple trims to the left, and
that just
R ripple trim will go forward. So W goes backwards, R goes forward. It's just like I did them like proximity. So like R is to the right and W is to the left. So Zach and Paul, let's get our other audio file get your thing that you need to like sync it up to.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to find this clap.
Oh, you gotta find our clap. So if you look, it should be an audio spike. Like so, if you're looking at all the audio, it should be a tall audio spike. It should be pretty distinct, I think.
Oh, he snapped.
We snapped?
Yeah. Okay. And you use the arrow keys to get moved by frame. And you want it to be right before the clap?
Like right when you first hear the first little tiny bit of clap, stop, and then hit W. You can also.
I did it right on like the peak of the clap. Does that really matter?
You just kind of want to have it make sure you're in the same spot for both. So if that's where you did it for that video, then make sure you do it in the same spot for the audio. I usually just do it right at the beginning, like at the first point.
That kind of makes more sense.
Yeah.
Can you Control Z on this thing?
Yeah, Control Z's. That's the thing in here.
All right. So.
I mean, you can. Here,
W.
Zach, say so. You sort of did it right here.
Yeah.
So like, let's pretend I did that. All you have to do is take this, drag it out a little bit.
Oh.
Okay. So like, you don't have to like Control Z really, because you'll lose the spot. But.
I just gotta find that again.
It's like pretty intuitive. Like I feel like I'm making this more complicated than it needs to be.
I mean, that's all stuff that like I really kind of already knew.
Yeah, I mean, if you've done like audio editing.
I think the W is the key thing that I'm learning here, like this idea of a ripple edit, because I know I've done this sort of editing where how I always edit is I slice something in half, and then I delete the first part, and then I scoot the following part.
Yeah, so this is basically like you're removing the idea of like the delete and the scoop. It does it all at once. So like, I'll get to it later after we sync. I'll show you. So you're good, Zach? Everybody.
Wait, where was that clap again? 2649, right?
Yeah. You can see me clap over top of my head.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second.
I guess if this is video, I don't know. This might be a mess, Zach. We'll see. Like,
I think it is.
Ideally, like I guess
all the claps are totally off.
I guess you would do whoever's like. So when I see Sean's clap, I would do it to Sean's audio to Sean's, Nick's to Nick's, and yours to yours, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. So there's not all one unified clap. Whereas me and Paul, we just do it on the same clap. Like we would match up the claps. It might be weird. We might just have to go with the audio in Google Hangouts. We'll see. It's a trash cast. It's supposed to be trashy. So you good, Zach?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just gonna get right on this mother.
So how do I know it's gonna cut just the one thing? Oh, because it's selected?
Oh, so you have two things in your timeline?
Yeah.
It'll cut everything. It won't just cut the one.
So how do I? So I. Oh wait. Do you want?
You could lock the track that you don't want to cut by pressing. There's a little lock at the end of that thing, so you can hit that, and then that'll keep it safe.
How would you do this? I've got 2 pieces of audio now. I want to cut just one of them because I found the clap in the second one, right?
Yeah. I mean, so if you just want to make a cut instead of doing the ripple trim, you could just get your cut tool, which is C, and you get a little razor blade, and you can just cut wherever you want. Just make cut all over the place.
How do you go back to the V for the cursor? Okay.
V, yeah. V for the cursor. You can remember that because the V kind of just looks like an arrow.
You just drag it back to the start now?
Yeah, you can do that.
Or how would you do it? You got a fancy command?
No, I don't think so. I don't know where it is, but no, I would just drag that back to the beginning. So you found the clap in the second one already?
Well, I found a clap. I don't know if it's the right one.
So you have 2 different audios. You have my audio and your audio, right?
Yeah.
So you found the clap in one, so now you have to find the clap in the other one. And Zach, I have to find the clap in the audio that I recorded.
Yeah. Do I just drag that audio file over to the
sequence?
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it a different way, just so, because like this is kind of easier to me. So if you go find your file in the project and double click it, it'll show so it's a stereo track in here. I'm going to do something just because, I mean, this is sort of like, this is just because I hate stereo files. Yeah, so Zach, do you have a stereo file? You double-clicked it. It showed up in this. It's called source. So this is sort of like, this window sort of means like this file's on deck. You're like previewing this file. It's not part of your sequence or anything. You're just taking a look at this. You can scrub around, listen to it. You can like zoom in and out the way you do in a sequence, but you're just sort of like, this window is just like, let me check this shit out.
You got that from double-clicking?
Yeah, you can double-click on I can go to our video, video right here, and then that's on deck. It's just that's just your let me look at this thing window.
It didn't pull that up when I double click, but I'm also on like the different screen setting as you.
You don't have this window next to your other window?
No, can I reset it up like that?
Hit window, workspace, and then editing, or did you do that?
Yeah, I just.
And you don't have a source window? It says source, a little tab.
I don't think so.
Can you share your screen with me in here? I think you can.
Yeah, but I'm not. I don't have that open. I'm using 2 computers.
Oh, I guess just show me then.
Show you what it looks like?
Yeah, just hold your computer up to me. Dang, Reflection City. Make a noise. Hold on. Sorry. Wait, can I just go to your screen? Oh, there we go. Okay. I don't know why you don't have. Is there a reset workspace option? Reset workspace right here.
Workspace.
Under window, it says reset workspace.
It looked like he's got the whatchamacallit? The project folder stuff.
Yeah.
Still on the bottom left.
Yeah, Zach, do you want to drag that up? Here, wait.
Yeah.
That would mean the source. I don't think the source would be hidden even in that case, though.
So let's try this, Zach. Check this out. So you're project folder is still down here, right? Like all your shit's down here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So take that. I think what you accidentally did maybe is you dragged your project. Did you? So you take this, grab the tab, project tab, pull it up, and you'll see that when you have it on top of this window, it's sort of purple. If you drag it to the left, you'll see it purple only on the left, as if it's like this your picture frame. So that's the project. Do you have another tab anywhere that says source?
Would it be...
Here, let's try this. Go to Window, and then go to Source Monitor, and then just click any of those, like, I don't know, Trashcast.
Wait, where's Source Monitor? I don't even see that.
You don't have that under any of your options?
No. Oh, wait, there it is. Okay, I got it.
And that showed up in the same spot mine is? Like, like your timeline shit is over here on your right, and your source monitor is on the left. And then do you have another tab right here called Effect Controls next to your source monitor? Okay, good. Then, okay, you're all ready.
But when I'm double-clicking on the audio, I think I might have fucked something up at the beginning. Oh, wait, there it goes. I'm good. All right,
okay,
I got it.
Cool. So that audio that I gave you is stereo, even though I recorded it mono. So, like, if you just want it to look normal, right-click it, and then there's a little thing that says Modify Audio Channels, and you'll come up with this little panel, and it says right here, this little thing, it says mono or stereo. Just switch it to mono, and since they're both the same, it'll just use the left channel and just make it mono, so it'll be in both ears, but
okay.
So that's just so the waves look normal instead of like it's just stupid. I don't know. That's like that's a pet peeve thing. It would have sounded the same. It's just annoying looking to me. So now we're gonna. So you're in your source monitor. You see all these audio waves. Let's search for the clap in my audio. Okay, it's not. It's like near the beginning. Like. Say 1 and a 2 and a 1, 2, 3, and then remember that you zoom in, and you can see just the very peak of that first clap.
Wait, how far into that is it?
45 seconds. Just use your arrow keys, scoot up right next to it, and as soon as your arrow encounters that first little bit of the waveform, you'll hear like just the very beginning of the clap. Audio bar over here on your right will jump. You'll see everything.
Hold on a second. 45 seconds, you said?
Yeah. Just like if you just put your little scrubber at the beginning and then zoom in 3 times, it'll be easier to handle, like, be more manageable. This is making me, like, I know it's hard for you guys, but it is making me feel really good about, like, I have a skill. Like, I really didn't think video editing was hard. I didn't realize that I've mastered a program. What's going on, Zach?
I just can't fucking hear this shit. I don't know why. I don't hear the audio.
Really? None of it?
Well, aren't your headphones in for your laptop?
Yeah, but I'm on a different computer.
So I mean, like, are you?
Yeah, and that's.
You got the audio from there.
But you heard the audio from the video clips from earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what the.
My only guess is that it didn't make a preview file correctly. Like that could be a real thing. If that computer sucks. Do you hear it or no?
Let me see what it looks like on yours. I'll just look if it looks like a similar wave.
Like you just have like trashcast_1 AIFF or AIF, right?
Yeah, it's right. It's right. Okay. All right, zoom back in. Okay. Yeah, that's I'm on the right one.
You just can't hear it?
I don't know. It's just this fucking computer. It's like my audio is like disabled right now. I don't know why.
Well, okay. So this is like a good time to talk about in and out points. So let's go to the very beginning of that clap and hit I. And that's setting an in point, which means that's the part of the clip that we want it to start on. So once you hit that I, you can see this little wave, this little symbol that looks like a wave right below in the window. And if you hover over it, it says drag audio only. It's like,
yeah, I see.
So what I do is I drag that. You drag that from there. You drag that into your sequence below, and just stick that right at the beginning.
So you only ripple edited the first one, and the next one because you're just getting the audio off of them.
I mean, we could have done the same thing for the first one, but I wanted to do the new sequence from the audio clip so that your sequence settings are right. So we could have just like.
Oh, I see.
I could have just like done this, like created a new sequence, and then said, okay, whatever. That's now that I have the right parameters, and then I could have gone into here, found the right spot, put my in point, and dragged it in that way. Really, you could do it. That's sort of the way I always do stuff.
Because I've never really understood this source window thing.
It's just good because, like, if you have a bunch of, like, if you're cutting, you just drag a raw audio file in here and you have, like, an edit already. It's hard to like do cutting like that in here, and so it's easier to just like set your in and out points. So like what I said, in and out points, like in your source window, if you hit an I, that's the beginning of the thing you want, and then let's say like, oh, the podcast sort of ended around here, and we were just chatting afterward, and that's like really the meat, like this.
What was the out?
The out is O. So in.
There's losses.
So it makes sense.
How did you get the that audio file down there? Did you just drag it? I was.
Yeah. So audio. So you can actually just like. So you hit the in, and then this little like waveform thing.
Yeah.
Right next to it, there's like a little. It looks like a movie clip, and that's
drag video
only. But you like since this is audio, like it's not. So you just drag it, put it at the beginning. You'll put it in audio too. And then the same thing, I think it started off like small, so you can't see the audio. Do the thing where you drag it a little wider so you can see those waveforms. I'm going to label mine Mango. Just because I like the look of the Mango.
There's got to be a way to make it, like, if it's a mono audio file, it should import as mono, right?
Well, I think I just recorded as stereo, even though I should have just been recording as mono. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's going to sound the same. It's more just like, why am I... It's simplifying the way it looks. So...
Bam. This is great. This is going really well. Find your snap again.
I think did we do 2 claps, Zach?
Yeah, we messed up the first one.
Oh no. So it's okay.
I mean, I get the gist of it though.
Wait, yeah. I'm gonna mute this. So we did another. Did we do another clap?
Yeah, we did it right after that. Because
Okay.
like that first wave is you counting again, I think.
So let's pretend. Let's me and you, Zach. Like, so let's say. Oh wait, fuck. We did a second clap. Let's lock that original audio, the one I just did, or did we? Let's go to the second clap. Hit W again, and then that'll take it back to the beginning. And if it's right, all these audio waves should be sort of lining up. Like you'll notice that like the peak right here sort of lining up, and if it's not, just highlight your audio clip. Like, see this my microphone's audio is that off or is it good? I don't know. Looks like it's a little off. So you highlight the audio clip, press Command, and then arrow over, and that just nudges clip one frame at a time.
Okay.
And so now you can see like these waveforms right here are matching up a lot better.
Can you not do that to just an actual, just straight audio file?
What do you mean?
Because the command thing is the audio relative to the video.
Oh no, so that was just a regular audio file. So I was just moving it. This is like my microphone. And
Oh, okay. It was moving for me. It just was too small to see.
yeah, it's just nudging. I feel like Zach, I think we're not going to be able to use our audios. I think we're going to have to use the.
Probably
I think
not.
like the stream, because we're 4 different people, 4 different internet connections. I feel like we're not going to be able to do this audio thing.
Yeah.
Me and Paul, we're fine. We recorded our audio separately, and we're not referencing like a weird thing that was like sent over the internet. What do you think? They shouldn't slip. Our conversations should be. Yeah. They should stay the same. But I don't know about matching up to this Hangout live.
Yeah, it's a little jumpy.
Whatever. All right. Well, that makes it easier for you then.
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering about that. Okay. I don't know. I feel like I'm realizing I'm a bad teacher.
What was that? The edit W.
So that's ripple
No.
trim. Another
Wait,
thing, if you want to, like, say you're scrubbing through and you're hearing both audios simultaneously, and you're like, that's annoying, I just want to hear the one for a second.
Mm.
Are you in that situation right now, Paul?
No,
It's
but
like-
I could be in that situation. That's the point.
So we set up our hotkeys earlier. Remember when we did enable? So if you highlight the clip that you're like, say like I'm right here, I'm trying to only listen to my video audio, but my microphone audio down here is like really like messing me up. Just highlight it, hit E, and that means enable, and it'll just turn it off for a second. It'll fade it dark, and you'll only be able to hear the one.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Turning it on and off.
Okay, but back to the ripple edit. W is ripple edit.
W ripple edits to the left. So let's say, okay, so here's a common thing. Zach, I'm just going to remove this audio since I realize we don't even fucking need it.
Let me know. Let me explain what happened.
Yeah.
I decided that our audios weren't perfectly in sync, so I pushed mine over by a couple frames.
Yeah.
So now there's a little gap of error. I mean, I guess ultimately I'm gonna need to trim the beginning anyways. But W just creates a slice all the way down to the.
W creates a slice and moves it over. If you just want to create a slice all the way through both audios, hit Q.
Oh, okay.
The Q, so check it out. Like my cursor, say like, oh, this is stupid. Yeah, just hit Q. It's just like this line that's here that draws it, just slices.
And then
over.
how would you pull that stuff to the front then?
So you can do it a couple ways. So so I don't know. Is this what you're trying to do? Like you're saying,
Yeah, like it's
all
like,
this
okay,
stuff.
that was preamble. We were just shitting around.
Yeah, I mean the easy way to do it is just hit W, because then it gets rid of like wherever you want it to actually start. You just hold your cursor there and hit W, and it'll just cut everything and put it back to the beginning. But if you want to like if you want to actually make a cut, hit Q. You can highlight that stuff, do Command X, just like delete, just like you would in like Photoshop or whatever. Just delete it, grab it, make a marquee around there, pull it back. Another thing you can do too, say there's like not only, say like you want to make this marquee, but there is, say you have a bunch of cuts down here. You're at the beginning, and you're like, I just want to move this stuff over here, but now, oh no, there's a stupid, I wanted to move everything over, not just that.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to hit A, and then your mouse turns into these little arrows, like 2 little arrows, and what that means is I want to select everything that is to the left of my arrow. So then you just click, and if you zoom out, you'll see that even though there are a bunch of cuts there, it's highlighted everything. Now you've everything highlighted, you can turn back into your arrow key with the V and drag everything over.
All right.
And I mean, little minor thing, if you want. Remember A, that means all, like select all, A. If you hit A and then you hit Shift, then that will only select the things in whatever video track or audio track you're in. So that will only select that video or only select that video. So if it's just default, you're selecting everything. Shift selects a specific one.
All right.
Everything on that line. Zach, how are you doing?
I'm doing alright.
So
this is like pretty hard for me.
Yeah, I didn't realize, like, talking it all out, I realized that I'm a freak.
I mean, it's just a lot of tedious, like, little stuff that's, like, thrown at me. It's, like, just, like, I don't know.
I feel like I'm overcomplicating it. It's
not really. It's just a lot of memorization.
It's all pretty intuitive, I think. Like, if you've played with GarageBand, it's just GarageBand plus video, and I'm just
you're just basically teaching me all these like little tips that I wish I would have known before, because I just do all like the stuff where I'm like clicking on stuff and going.
Yeah. I'm showing you all the things like that fast editors do, and you can do everything the long way. Like I can.
Right. That's
like,
all. Yeah.
Like Paul is saying, like. If your tools are all over here, over to your left of your timeline, like you have your blade, you don't have to hit like C to get the blade. You don't have to hit A to get the arrow or V to get the arrow. And actually, you can, if you hover over these tools, you can see that
it'll tell you the shortcut.
It'll tell you what the shortcuts are. Yeah. So razor is a C.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
I don't use the pen tool or the hand tool or the zoom, but. Yeah, so like you can do this, say like you wanted to cut this clip and this clip. Like you could do everything manually, it just takes longer.
Okay, so I'm getting Ripple Edit down, right? But sometimes I want to, I think what I'm going to be doing a lot is, okay, bad thing happened. I want to cut at the start of the bad thing, into the bad thing, and then
yeah, this is great. This is exactly what we're going to do next. So Zach, both you and I'm going to remove my audio, Zach, because I feel like it's like it
might be overcomplicating things for me at this point.
Yeah, and I think my audio, even though I matched it up to my clap, like I think it slips just because it was streaming to the internet and there's a variable like bit rates. I don't know, it's stupid. Video sucks. So Paul, let's pretend, go to a part that you want to cut out. or pretend you want to cut out. What's going on here? Let's say, I'm going to say right here.
Go back to your window.
It's going to be complicated. So, if you want to hear me talk and do things on your timeline without it being confusing, because you're hearing me talk in the podcast and also to RealNet right now, go to at the end of your sequence, hit that M, and that'll just mute the track, so you'll still be able to like move around, but it won't be making noise. Just so you can still hear me right now, and it's not confusing. So let's say Nick said something stupid right here.
Hey, you're not show your screen.
Oh, whoops! Sorry. Yeah, sorry, that was a big mistake. So yeah, did you see the mute, the little M at the end of the sequence?
Yep.
Mute those just for temporarily, so we can.
What was that disable button that you?
Yeah, you could also do that. You could do disable.
E.
Enable.
Oh, enable.
Enable.
Okay.
All
right. Cool.
So yeah, you could enable it or mute it. I'm just gonna mute it because me and Zach, if we disable it, then the video goes away. So let's say Nick said something stupid here. Everything Nick said, he's racist or something. We're like, oh shit, we got to get that out. So you're right where he starts. Put your cursor wherever the thing began, and then you're gonna hit Q. And that should make a cut through everything. Even though we only have one track, Paul, it should make a cut through both of your tracks.
It did.
Okay, and now let's scrub through until the racist thing is over. And
that's a lot of racism.
Yeah. And then an easy, like what you would do if you're a noob, you would take your razor and you would cut and you would highlight this spot and you would delete it and you would nudge it over like you were talking about, Paul.
Yeah.
But
that's the story of my life.
If you want to be a fast boy, you go to the end of the racist part where it starts being good again, and then all you do is you would hit W, and that did everything that we did a second ago, only real fast.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So and now what I was talking about before, if you move your cursor, you see there's a little cut there, and if you're listening to a podcast, just because room tones change, things change.
This is where the 2 frames come in.
Yeah, this is where the 2 frames come in. So you hit your colon when you're on top of that spot or anywhere near it. It should, if you're within a few frames of a cut and you hit colon, it'll be like, oh, I see what you're trying to do, and it'll add a little transition there. And that's an audio transition. And if you could take a second to listen to it, see how it sounds. If it sounds bad, then you can either make it, I guess it's as short as it could be. If you need more like of a transition because like the room tone is a little bit drastic, you hover over the little rectangle that it made, and you can drag it out and make that as long or as short as you want. So that is now making a crossfade from here to here instead of just 2 frames. It's like,
wait, how'd you get that rectangle in there?
Well, did you add your transition?
Yeah.
So you hovered over it, you hit colon, and you don't see this thing?
I see the little crossfade, but I can't select it.
You can't?
I can click on it, but I can't resize it. When I try to resize it, it just edits the clip, not the crossfade.
It edits? And does you see the word constant?
Or maybe I just need to get closer?
Maybe. Yeah. Zoom in real close. As close as you can get.
Okay, now I got it.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So you zoom in, and then you can drag those out, make that as long as short as you want. Like
so that's just like kind of like muting the audio a little bit, or just.
It's adding a crossfade between those 2 points.
So will it resize both of them at the same time?
It will. Yeah. I mean, I think you had if you do shift, you can do 1. Yeah, if you add shift, you can crossfade. So basically what that idea is, the length of this is saying that So this first clip, your clip on the left is going to start fading out right at the beginning of that and then be completely faded out by the end of this rectangle. And this clip on your right will start fading in at the beginning of the rectangle and then be totally faded in by the end of it. So it's a crossfade. So if you drag it wider, then this left clip will start fading out here and be totally faded out there. The left clip will be fading in at the beginning of the rectangle and be totally faded in by the end of it. So you might, depending on how it sounds, you might need more or less length for the crossfade. Just listen to it back and be like, is that what you're going for is invisibility. You just want like the sound to be constant, so people aren't. If you don't put a crossfade there, it'll be like you'll just hear a change in the room tone. So you don't want people to know that you edited. But Zach, I guess since it's video, we'll see a jump cut, and that's fine.
Okay.
Like you'll know that like. We'll just have to embrace the idea that like some things are trash, and we're just gonna cut them out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's basically the basics.
Okay. The other thing is if I've got 2 tracks, right?
Yeah.
And you said something racist while I was trying to say something really smart. So I want to cut out just your racism, but keep my audio. Right?
Okay.
So I want to blank. You know what I mean? I want to kill your audio for. So I know I could like maybe. Here's how I think I would do it. I would disable my track. Hit. Oh no. Select your track. Hit Q. Scrub to the end. Hit Q again. No, that's not working. It's not really doing what I want.
So if you want to keep it the same, you're not trying to cut it out. All you're trying to do is like mute what I said.
Right.
For so amount of time. Let me get like this, just as like the stand-in. So yeah, let's pretend that.
Like a cough, right?
Yeah. So let's pretend that this pink right here is you saying the good thing.
And that can you show your screen again?
Oh, whoops. Sorry. Okay. So let's say this is you. This top one is you. And you're starting to say some shit, and it's really good. And then I pop in down here with this blue stuff, and I'm like, I just don't think black people should have the same rights as whites. And you're still talking, like you said. There are a couple ways we can get rid of this. The way I might do it is I would hit like the C, so I get my blade tool, cut there, just where it is, highlight it, and hit E, so it's just gone. Just removed it. And if you're trying to get rid of the room tone right here,
crossfade that bitch.
You can just crossfade that bitch by moving it over a little bit. Just move those away from the clip because you won't be able to get the crossfade if the thing is disabled. Move it away from a little bit. Zoom in and just add some fades. Or, yeah. That's like one way. I might do that when I'm editing a video. Like that might be how I do it. Another maybe easier way that you might want to do.
What was the crossfade button again?
Colon.
Oh, sorry.
That's for some reason. I mean, I don't know if that's common across many people use a colon, but I know like me, Regina, Billy, like all the video people at The Verge, that was like our thing. We were like colon. That's the default audio transition.
So, and I just deleted the one in the middle, but you like kept it there?
Yeah, just because I wanted I just enabled. I hit the E button just to like I don't know.
Just in case.
So it's still there if I'm like I don't know, just to remember that it was there. That's something I do. But here's another way you could do that, and it might be easier. it probably is easier. So back to the beginning again. Is everybody ready?
Yes.
So, yeah, let's say you're saying your good thing, ba 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 ba, and I say I don't think black people, blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, uh-oh. You're gonna hit new tool, P. Hit the P like the pen. If you've used Photoshop, you're familiar with the pen. And right where we would start a crossfade, hit the pen, and right at the end, somewhere else where you can crossfade up, so that you've surrounded this clip. And then what we're gonna do is add another notch right there and pull it down. Add another notch right here, pull it down. And so this represents the volume. This line right here represents the volume. So if you look at your, like I'm on the pink line, if I were to just grab this line and move it up or down, you can see when you move it up and down, it's saying 6 decibels, plus 6 decibels, or 0 decibel, like that's default. If you go down, -6, 7, so that's volume. This line represents the volume through time. And so by adding a notch right here, we're saying, okay, right there, it's everything back here is going to be all regular, and then right here I'm going to start going down. I'm going to hit these are called keyframes. If you're familiar with the idea of a keyframe. I don't know. Is this hard? It's hard to explain.
I've done this before. This is just like in Logic or whatever.
Yeah, it's just it's like music editing. So it's fading down. So from here to here.
You'd probably fade something instead of deleting or doing the other thing.
Yeah, it's more like, well, I try to like avoid doing much editing like this because it gets really messy. I prefer to like just make cuts, but it's fine. It's really like however you feel like working. A lot of people.
It's nice if you can just cut both things.
Yeah, I like to avoid doing any volume adjustments, but it's fine. It just can get really messy. Like looking at all these.
For a long podcast with a lot of coughs, what do you think you're gonna do in the long run?
I'd probably cut it.
Yeah.
And just add a fade. Like probably because me and you, if we tend to like, we do some back and forth, but we also tend to like talk longer. And what I would do is like when you're using like, I don't know what your waveforms look like, but like you probably see a large chunk of audio from one person and then another large chunk of audio from another person. I would usually take whoever's not talking, I would just cut their stuff and just like turn it off while the other person's talking, because like that, all you're doing, like if you're talking and I'm not talking, all my audio is adding to the podcast is room tone, and so you don't want that.
So you'd think you'd do that for a whole podcast?
I don't know. It really depends. It depends on how it sounds. It's easier to just like leave them both in at full volume, but it's definitely nicer if you get rid of the room tone. You'll have like a much richer, direct sound.
Okay. And so and then for each of those, you do the crossfade thing.
Yeah, it really depends if the room tone's quiet enough. I mean, I can go into audio at compression in a second, and we can add gates so that it will basically add audio transitions by default. That can get really messy too.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Do you want to do that now? I don't know. Let me do one more thing before we do that. So let's say let's say like where you're watching it, Zach. Let's say you're watching it and you're like, you think all this stuff is good, and then you're like, that stuff wasn't very good. Like, or you're saying like, let's say you're watching it, and you're like, none of that stuff I just said was good. So when it starts being good again, make a cut, do a cue, go back until you're like, oh yeah, this is where it started being bad. Like, right, this stuff all was good, but like everything I said here was not that good. So I'm gonna cut all that out. So this is sort of the reverse of what we just did. You have listened to it and you said, ooh, everything I just said wasn't very good. Let's go back to where it stopped being good and started being bad. Put our marker there. And then instead of hitting W this time, we're gonna hit R. And so that ripple trims to the right. And so what I just did, if you want me to do it the long way, is we said none of this stuff is good, so I'm going to make a cut here, and then I'm going to go back to where it stopped being good. I'm going to make a cut here, right? Yeah, and then highlighting it, deleting it, nudging it over. So all we did was we said stop. It started being good again there. This is where it stopped being good, or this is where it's hovering your mouse over where it stopped being good. Hit R, and then it just deleted the stuff between those two marks and moved.
What did you put? What did you use to mark mark the beginning or technically the end of that for the first mark? The second one was R. What's the first one? Was that
the
W?
The first one was Q, so it just made a cut. It just cut. So ripple trim, it's the full name of that tool is ripple trim to next cut. So it will ripple everything between where your cursor is and where the next cut is.
Okay.
And that's gone. And then, of course, hit colon for your 2-frame crossfade, because you'll probably always need that. It's just a good thing to do.
All right. One thing I want to know, because I actually have to go to take this drug test, but how am I going to add in those videos, and like, am I going to add those in like on like a corner of the screen, or are we actually going to cut totally?
So I mean, we can, depending on if we want the audio and video, but let's say like right around back at the end, we're all talking about Mackenzie, and we're like, we just want to have like a video of Mackenzie up on the screen. Let's go to our graphics folder where I put my video in our video folder, and let's check out.
Is your audio gone? Fuck.
Can't hear you.
How about now?
Yes.
I switched to my other microphone. My Yeti freaked out. I saw the audio waves were like, what was it sounding like?
Nothing.
Nothing.
All right. Well, is it still okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's more roomy. Okay.
So you got the Mackenzie video.
Okay. So yeah. So you highlight it, put it to the on deck thing.
Switch your screen.
Oh, sorry. So you double click it, bring it to this window so you can see this is like her. I think I just recorded her whole story that day.
Yeah.
And so we were specifically, at one point, we were talking about, you said, I like when she screams in the car. And Paul,
Yeah.
like, maybe, I don't know if we want to add, like, bonus clips. Like, we've talked about, like, we talked about that one Charlie Kaufman speech. Like, maybe when we're talking about that, you could even edit in, like, some of that. So, like, find, oh, wait. Zach, where is she screaming in the car? Oh, yeah. So she's in the car here. Let's find where she starts being in the car. And you hit I for in. Go to wherever you want to stop showing Mackenzie in our video, and hit out. O, out. And then, are you good?
Out for in. Okay, yeah.
And then, so since we want both the audio and the video, let's just grab even the middle of the window. So like if we just wanted the video, you could just grab this the little film thing, and we would just get the video
or the audio.
The audio, but since we want both, since we want to hear us screaming, grab both, drag them down to the timeline, and you'll see that it'll be adding the video above our video and the audio below our video. So both video 2 and audio 2.
Okay.
And let's zoom in to that spot.
Yeah.
Let's say I don't know. We were talking about it. This is where you said I really like when she does that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's grab our cut tool or your blade tool by pressing C. Make a cut. Grab all this stuff and nudge it over. And as you can see, like we have a vertical video here, but it's not really fitting in the screen very well. So let's highlight it. And
hold on a second. How do you get, like, so you just cut that one spot, and then how do you get your tool out, like undo your tool?
Oh, yeah. So you cut, hit V. Remember V because the V looks like the arrow.
Okay. That makes sense.
Drag it over.
Yep.
Like after the clip happens.
Yep.
And so as you can see, like Mackenzie's vid is it's a square because that's because this sequence is I think 720 and this video is I think 720 high, so it's not fitting in the sequence correctly. So highlight that clip, and then you're gonna go where your source window is, and you're gonna go to the tab that says Effect Controls. Yeah. And so what Effect Controls is any video, anything you have highlighted down in your sequence, that's what this is referring to. So since we have Mackenzie highlighted, we're going to be able to control the parameters of this video in the Effect Controls. So hold down this little arrow right here, and you'll see position, scale, rotation, anchor point, opacity, all that. Let's do scale. Just hover over that and scrub
where's
to the
that
left.
arrow? Which arrow are you talking about?
Next to motion. Next to the effects in motion. You hit the arrow down, and you'll see scale, and then hover over that and just move to the left, and you'll be able to scale the video however you want, huge, tiny. Another, like I do that with the arrows, but another way you can do that is next to the motion, there's that little cube with an arrow next to it. If you hit that, you'll get these, you'll see that in the sequence window, you'll get a blue frame. So that's just like resizing something in Photoshop, and you can see that the arrow goes beyond the screen, and right now your preview window is set to fit, which means that no matter how big you scale your window, it'll adjust to that. But if you change that to, this is the zoom, you change that to like 50%, then you'll be able, then no matter if you scale, it'll always be
at 50% of its actual pixels.
Okay.
And so you can always resize that way by just grabbing it, resizing it, and then we can move it over to the left or wherever we want to do. Let's say that we are talking about Mackenzie, but we just want to have her on the screen as like a graphic, just as a representation.
Mm-hmm.
So we can. So notice if you click the Mackenzie clip, it'll all be highlighted, both the video and the audio.
Yeah.
That's because these two things are linked, because they should be, because if you want to move it around, they should move together. But say we want to just get rid of the audio, hit Alt and then click on just the audio. And that'll allow you to select the audio without the video.
Yeah.
And then hit Command X, and you just removed the audio.
Okay.
Got rid of it. I mean, we could have also hit Alt, select, and then hit E, and then we still have them connected, but it's muted.
Okay, so going back.
Let's say that we're talking about Mackenzie, but we don't want to. We're just talking about her. We don't want the audio. You can take that clip of her, and we can like put it right here, and so we're talking about her, and you can see her snap on the screen as we talk about her.
Okay, so when you were resizing it again, so are you back to 100%, and then you just, oh shit. So you went to scale, and then what were you doing with the arrows before you did the motion thing?
So you can scale it by clicking this thing, and you see the parameter, the box, and you can scale that way and move it around.
Oh, okay.
That just turns it into a thing that you can move with your mouse, or like transform with your mouse. But you can also just control the parameters via these, like the scale. If you hover over top of, right now you can see it's at around 50% or whatever. This is you can control it that way too, and you can control the rotation by moving that around. Down here, there's opacity, which is like transparency. And that's like, you can make it like half crossfaded.
Ooh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Another thing, I feel like this is going to have to be multiple lessons, because I didn't realize how hard video editing was.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I could probably do a pretty good like outline of what I want to do, and then maybe like you could like give me some critiques.
Yeah. Let me do a really basic idea of what a keyframe is, just so you know. Let's say you want to do something really goofy with this Mackenzie clip.
Mm-hmm.
Let's highlight it with this motion thing. Get your blue things. Move it off the screen completely, so you can see that it's to the left of the screen, right?
Yeah.
And then what we're going to do is hit this little stopwatch next to position. And what that did was lay down a little dot right here. And what this is right here is like a mini timeline. It's like this sequence down here, but it's a timeline only for this clip. So
wait, where is that?
So did you hit a position?
Yeah, I got that.
Stopwatch next to position, and you see that right here. You can kind of see it on the edge. There's a little dot. I can go right here and hit it again. You can add right here. You add this dot.
Yeah.
That's a keyframe. So let's say that we want this Mackenzie clip to fly through the screen while we're talking, like animation. So the beginning of the clip right here, let's go to where we would want it to end. Stop moving through. Let's say like we wanted it like from here to here. You're talking about Mackenzie, and we thought it'd be funny to have Mackenzie's clip fly through the screen. So we put our position right there, like at the beginning we hit a keyframe, and then at the end of the clip, let's hit motion again. Oh wait. If you go to the very end of it, you won't have a keyframe, so go to the end and hit the back arrow one time so you can still see this box.
Hold on a second. There's somebody at the door. God damn it.
Dude, I totally got it.
You did animation?
So I forgot to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll show you. Yeah, so like all you do is grab it, move it to the end, move it to the other side, and then you'll see if you scrub through, this clip is moving through the spot through time.
Okay, do that one more time. So
you had your original keyframe at the beginning. Go to the very end of that clip, that timeline inside this mini key timeline. Hit back. Hit the back arrow one time so that you can still see your frame, your brackets, right?
Yeah.
And then grab that, move it to the right side of the frame, off screen again, almost to the same spot, just on the other side.
Yeah.
Let go, and as you can see in your little timeline, that's created another dot, and that's another keyframe. So what you're saying is, at this time, I want the clip to be here, and at this time, I want the clip to be here, and then create where it will be between those two frames. So if you see, you scrub through, this clip is moving over top of the screen between those two spots through that amount of time.
Okay.
And so if you were to say like you wanted it to be faster, like you wanted it to go through faster, all you do is you grab that keyframe, move it back to like the middle, and now it's moving through at those times. Let's say you wanted to move off screen, and then afterward move back onto the middle of the screen. Just go to where you want it to be at that, like go to that point in time, grab it. Now you see it's laid down another keyframe for there, so it goes sort of shuffled.
Okay, so
check it out on my screen. I got one. It's really good. Ready?
Yeah. Oh, you did some rotation too. Yeah, you're advanced. Look, Paul, he knows code. Paul he's a real computery guy. Don't feel bad.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's good.
But you
so you
never
just
guess what happens next. Keep zooming. This is great. Did I tell you I had Adobe Premiere 1.0 on floppy disks.
Oh man, so you've done sort of this stuff before. So yeah, it was pretty advanced. You added rotation and scale and position. So yeah, like me and Zach just did a position, but yeah, so you could start with the position and add in scale by clicking the stopwatch again. Which if this is blue, that means you're doing keyframes. If you click it off, it'll come up with this thing. It's like you're gonna remove all these keyframes. You want to do that? You say yeah, but initiating it means I want to start adding some animation with this idea. So like right there, it's scale. Let's do that. Add it big. Make it tiny. Go back so you can see now we're moving and scaling. And it's add in rotation. Let's add twist, a bunch of twists through the whole of the thing. Drag that to the end. Now you've added crazy clip.
All right.
So those are keyframes. That's like the concept of keyframes. So how do you feel?
A little bit overwhelmed. But, I mean, I just had to do it. I mean, you're just telling me how to do it. I'm, like, doing it while you're telling me to do it, but will I remember how to do it?
Like, that's how all tutorials are. Like, tutorials, you can watch them all you want, but until you're actually doing it, you're not learning.
Well, I like that you put all those 4 letters all next to each other, because that way I know if I'm not using them all.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't used Q lately. I probably do is that they're not.
Yeah, I've never named it, but I'll call it the core method.
The core. So Q for like slicing through the whole timeline.
Yeah, imagine the Q is like cutting a wedding cake all the way through, all the layers of the wedding cake.
W is a ripple edit where it takes the whole timeline to the right all the way
to the
back
previous cut.
To the left.
To the whatever cut. So wherever your cursor is, to wherever the last cut was. So if you have your cursor here and your last cut was here, it's gonna say all that stuff is stupid. But if you have a cut over here, if you make a cut over here and then you put your cursor over here, and you're saying all this stuff in here is bullshit, and you want to cut forward to the next cut, not the previous, you hit R and it'll go.
And then E is for...
E is enable. That's if you just want the thing to still be there and it just turns it, it ghosts it.
Instead of deleting, because I always just used to delete.
You can delete. For some reason I like enable. I like to just in case, I like to have it there.
Because even if you delete, it's still there in a way.
I mean, you didn't. Yeah, it's still in your. It still exists. The file still exists, but you might. The reason why I like to enable is because then you will, as much as you move around everything, if you ever want to put that thing back in there, it will just be a matter of hitting E again. And rather than going back into your project bin, finding the clip that you had there at that one point in time, recutting it, and dragging it back in. I don't know. It's kind of annoying. Do you want to do? Let me do one more thing, just as it's because we're doing a podcast. It's kind of important. So Paul and Zach, I'm going to take my audio, have it in audio 1, right? And so compression.
You gotta share your screen again.
Sorry about this, guys.
So audio 1.
So yeah, you can start from scratch, or you can use the same thing you're already using. It doesn't really matter. I just wanted to make it clean again. So there's my audio, and as you know, audio is dynamic. Sometimes you're quiet, sometimes you're loud, but radio and podcasts, people like to make the difference between the very quiet sounds and the very loud sounds more the same, so that you're not always adjusting your headphone volume. You can set a volume, and no matter if a person's talking quietly or loudly, it all hits around the same level, so it's not annoying, and you can hear everything. That's compression. So whenever you record anything, it's always dynamic. It's raw. There's no compression. So what we're going to do is we have our sequence right here. Let's go up next to Effect Controls. You'll see Audio Clip Mixer. Actually, am I on the wrong thing?
How did you get that? Oh yeah, I see.
Actually, I don't have Audio Clip Mixer. I don't have Audio Track Mixer. I don't know if do you have Audio Track Mixer?
I can get it. Let's see.
So go to Window and add Audio Track Mixer. We don't want Clip Mixer.
All right.
So now you're on that. You can see that we have little sliders for each one of our audio tracks. Audio 1, 2, 3. That's what I have. Whatever you have.
Mm-hmm.
And you can even rename these. Let's say first track's mine. I can name it now. You'll see it. That's my mic. If you want to just customize. And remember, anytime you want to customize these however you want, change the colors. It's very nice to just make it your own. If you're going to be looking at this stuff for a long time, it sucks to have it be ugly. So up in the top left corner, you see this little tiny arrow. And many people don't know about this, but it's a little tiny arrow, and that'll uncover all this slot, all these little gray bins. And what these gray bins are for effects. So if you go to the top one and you have this little arrow, you click that, and you have a menu of audio effects. And what we're going to add first is, let's add a, where's like an equalizer? Oh, EQ. Filter and EQ, EQ. And then on the little bar, double click that bar, and you'll come up with a little module here. Now, I mean, depending on what you want to do, I don't even know if I would even add EQ, but a lot of people like to. John at work, he worked for Verge, he was all about, like, you gotta always EQ. I don't know if I really care about EQing, but if you know anything about audio mixing, this is where you would do your EQ. Like, say, like, oh, there's a high frequency going throughout this entire thing. I'm gonna remove that. You can do an EQ. But let's pretend that we didn't want to do an EQ, and all we want to do is a compression. Go back to that same arrow, amplitude and compression, and then dynamics. For some reason it calls compression dynamics. I guess they are the dynamics, but I would rather that just been called compressor. So click it again, you'll get another module, and I think by default it has like a pretty decent compression on it. It doesn't really matter, but you can see, I'm going to mute mine just so I can hear you guys still, but you can see that what you're going to do is threshold. That means that if you're really, say it's really loud and it's always peaking really high, you can set your threshold to be negative only a couple decibels. But if you're really quiet, you want to put that threshold down to like around the 17s or 20s, and basically that's saying like anything that comes at this volume, I want this compressor to start affecting it. So if it's very quiet, which is like not.
But anything quieter than this, just drop.
Yeah, or don't affect it. It'll still be there, but don't grab onto it and start affecting it. Like it's the ceiling at which I'm going to have this effect work on it. So if it's really quiet, you can make it like even down to like the 20s. Like, I don't know, most people wouldn't want to do that. But so then next to that is ratio, and what that is how the difference between the loud and the soft. How close do you want those to be? And so the higher that number, a good number is around like 3 or 4. But like radio compresses really hard. So like between 3, 4, or 5 is fine. That's a good compression. And then say that even after all this, it might be compressed. Like the difference between the loud and the soft sounds are very similar, but it's still really quiet. Like it's still really quiet. Like you could see over here. But what people like to do is hit around -3 on average. You can see your bar over here. You can see I'm talking.
Okay.
You can see.
Right. Right now I've got.
So you can see mine. It's hitting around 12, 24. What is it doing? Yeah. So it's
Mine's like 12, 15.
That's not loud enough. So what we want to do is twist this knob, which is called makeup. Oh, I accidentally hit audio. Called makeup, and that's saying I've already compressed it. I just want to bring everything up. I just want to bring the levels up. And do that until your levels are peaking around 6 or 3. And you can also see that it's too loud sometimes, and these little red squares show up at the top. That's too much. Maybe you bring the makeup down a little bit. But what you can also do is, like, I need it to be this loud. It's always peaking around 6, so it's good. I need it to be that loud, but I don't want it to, like, blow out. When you hit these red arrows, that means the sound's blowing out. That's not good. So we're going to add a limiter, and that's right here. check mark the limiter and say that at maximum, like the loudest I ever want this to go, this threshold button, is 0 decibels is fine, which means like it'll cut it off right before it hits the very top. Sort of imagine at the fair when you hit the bell, you know, you hit the mallet on the thing, and then it goes boom. Imagine that the threshold at 0 is putting a little like thing that stops that thing from sliding up and hitting the bell, and this is sort of the choke point. So it's good to do it like a little bit below 0, like around -1 point, -60, -1, just a little bit below, because you're going to have 2 people talking, and so you want to have room for both of you to be pretty loud. Because if you were both at 0, then combined, we were both talking on top of each other, we're both talking at 0, combined we're going to be more, and then we're going to peak.
That makes sense.
So you do this, so Paul, you'd add another one of these dynamics to my mic and your mic, and then at the end, on this master volume, you would add one more dynamics. And this one, because we're both already compressed on our own channels, you don't really need to add more compression, but just one more limiter for safety. Check on the limiter, put that up to 0, and then that'll make sure that the whole podcast, no matter how loud we get, will never peak. We can talk about gating, but I don't know if I really want to do that. I think that can get messy, and Premiere's gates aren't even very good. With
I have
that,
to go.
all right, this is pretty long, huh?
Yeah.
Whoops, I'm opening Slack. Of course, quit. I quit The Verge last week, but I'm still in their Slack network. I can go in and get all their secrets. I've been going in there and just like seeing what's going on. I think that's everything. I mean, we didn't talk about exporting, but that's dang. I thought video editing was pretty easy. Remember yesterday when I was like, I think we can get this done in like a half hour.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at knowing how long things take.
Well, this is good. It would have been a lot quicker if you just showed us, but because I actually got to like
interact. No, that's
no.
Yeah, you have to actually do stuff to learn.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean, I can show exporting now because it's really fast. Zach, when do you have to go? You have to go like right now?
I have to go now. Yeah.
Well, okay, you can go, and I'll just record it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta go pretty soon too.
Okay. Exporting's pretty fast. It's like
Where's that?
Parameters.
So, yeah.
Export.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back. So let's say we got our. Okay. We got everything's. Let's add some like cuts or whatever, just to make this look like it's really a project. There's maybe our theme song right there. And here's maybe our outro theme song at the end over here. So at the beginning of your timeline, you hit I for endpoint, your endpoint. Same thing as like the source window.
Okay.
Go to the end. I'm going to zoom in just so I know exactly where, like, let's say I'm going to add like a fade out to your song. I grabbed my pen tool and I just like added a transition. And you can add as many keyframes as you want with this pen tool. You can shape your volume however you like. Really, but be careful. Beware of too many keyframes. Minimum amount of keyframes is definitely what you want to do always, if you can. If you can avoid too many keyframes. But okay, so say it's faded out. Here's the very end. Like that's where I want the file to be done. Hit O. So now you have. If you zoom out, you see that there's this like little this fade. This like light part over here. That's your in and out point. And then what you're going to do is, I mean, the long way, the clicky way of doing this is export. Wait, what? Maybe I don't. It's been so long since I've exported this, so I don't even know where the export is. Where's like, oh my God, where is it?
Yeah, I think Export Media came up with something.
Mine's like grayed out though. Isn't that weird?
Wait, no, go
Mine's
File
like,
export. File export.
oh yeah, no, okay, mine's not grayed out
Media.
anymore. So yeah, that's the long way. I always hit just Command M, just because, you know. So this came up with your export module, and for me and Zach, we would probably want to do an H.264, and it by default matches sort of what the sequence is. Like for some reason, Google records at 60 frames a second, and so it'll do like 720. Audio will be an AAC compression. VBR right here, bitrate. That's like how much compression you want to do. These are pretty good. I think it's like by default set to like sort of what's good for YouTube. So typically that's what you're doing. And then you would just, this little output name here thing, you would just click that and just say where you want to save it, name it, whatever. And then you'd say save. And then when you're ready to go, you hit export. But me and you, since we're doing a PCast, just audio, maybe you want to do an MP3?
I'll have to look. I think it's actually MPEG-4
For what?
for podcasts, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we
I'm
can do
sure
that.
MP3s are fine.
Yeah, if we want to do SoundCloud, MP3s are good.
Okay.
So this little format thing, go to MP3. All right, whoops, I did JPEG. MP3, and then preset has a bunch of presets. I like to do we want to get all of the quality. Come on. I even like to take it up to 320 kilobytes per second. If you go down to the audio rate. Yeah, I'm not gonna fuck around. I'm gonna give people all the audio they want.
And our podcast is going to be in mono, or do we want to put
No, it would be stereo.
left and right?
No, it's stereo because like your song you recorded is in. Well, I mean, it really could be in mono if we want.
Or we could pan.
This week's was in stereo because I did binaural, but normally it could be in audio. In mono, I mean. But if your song at the beginning.
I mean, podcasts have had like a long-standing like restriction on like if it's over a certain size, you can't download it on the go or whatever. So that's why keep them really small.
Yeah, I mean,
I like
it'll say, you can see down here, it says estimated file size 183 megabytes. So if you're like that's too much, we can always just like make it less, and then it'll say okay 110. Is that good for you?
I'll look that up and see if we want to even try to hit a specific file size.
Yeah, and then the same thing. Output name, say where you want to save it. Save. Hit export. And it'll come up this bar and it'll be exporting it.
Cool.
That's
yeah. Do we want to pan it all left and right? Does anybody do that?
I remember this one, John, who at work, if you know John, he's like the biggest OCD audio freak in the world. Like he would hate that I'm editing this podcast in Premiere. He would be like, "Fuck you." But he would say, no way, don't. I think he told me about this podcast once where they were trying to mix all the people around, like as if they were in the space, and he said it was the most annoying thing in the world. And I agree that it's probably true.
I know sometimes, like a lot of times, I listen to podcasts with just one ear, and then I put in another ear, and I realize somebody's louder. So I wouldn't want that to happen to me.
We're not trying to create like a cinematic 3D audio experience.
Just trying to get the information across.
Yeah.
Cool.
This is yeah.
So there's the very first episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should handle that one. I don't even know if there's anything to edit out. That was a magical experience. I'm sure it's just perfect.
I don't know, maybe.
But you can add the intro music to it or whatever.
One thing that I noticed, because I did a podcast with my other two friends a while ago, we gave up on it because, I don't know, it was a podcast where we just played music for each other and we didn't get the copyrights for anything. We just wanted to listen to music together. And I still wish we were doing that, but it was fun. But we stopped. But I noticed, because I edited one episode of it, it took forever, but I noticed that when I am recording, I'll be like, when they're talking, I think I just breathe wrong, and I just go like, and so I had to keep removing. I had to keep removing those sounds because, like, oh man, I don't want to do that.
I promise you that will bother me enough to edit it out.
That's what we have to. We're not. That's scary. Like that. You sounds like a dying person in your ear.
I listen to this podcast, like a lot of really nerdy like programming podcasts. There's this one guy, I've never seen a picture of him, but he sounds fat, and he'll talk, and he'll get kind of excited when he'll talk, and then he'll kind of be out of breath from talking, and then he's like breathing heavily while he's the host, right? When the person he's interviewing is responding, he's like breathing heavily, and it's not edited out.
Yeah, we gotta cut that out.
So anyways,
because you're gonna have to listen to everything, and that's tedious. But like, it's just, you don't want that.
So I'll edit the first episode where we were recorded separately. If you want to edit the very first one,
yeah, I'll do that.
And then
I feel like I might have to edit the trash cast. It's not like when I was like talking through all the stuff that I think that we should do for the video trash cast, I was like, I guess I thought it was easy, but I guess.
Well, the fact that you're gonna cut to clips and stuff is
I know, right?
A lot harder.
I know. I think it might be.
But it's kind of cool because it's really hard to like. I mean, if you don't follow that stuff obsessively, it's hard to.
Yeah, you're not going to know what you're talking about. And it's like very nice that it'll all be in one place.
Right.
Yeah, I might just have to edit that show. I wish Zach was here. He could just sit next to me and I could show him what I was doing for a few episodes.
Well, I feel like, I don't know. I don't think it's that hard. But yeah, I have got, I did a little bit of Premiere 1.0 literally.
Yeah.
And then I did like a little bit of Final Cut, like in
high school. So you have the basics of the concepts of
like I never got good at it, but
you understand the frames,
keyframes, and just conceptually the whole timeline thing. So, and then I've done like logic and stuff.
Yeah, it's like after talking it out, I was like, my brain does work in a whole different way. Like, this is not a thing that I thought it was intuitive. Like, I forgot that I had to explain, like, every single little, like, I can't just say drag it into the timeline. Say, okay, the timeline is this window down here that you can see this. Yeah.
Well, I enjoy, like, even all this time I've spent in these programs and stuff, I never would do, like, that source previewing thing, because I never really... Even though I know you could set it in and out point, it just never made sense to me. But now it makes sense.
It's like whenever you have like a really messy timeline in your edits, like a mess, you don't want to drag like a raw, like say your edit's like 20 minutes. You don't want to drag like an hour-long clip. Like, where are you going to put that? You don't have any, like, then like to cut it and find the right spot, you need like a thing where you can set the in and out points and then drag only the thing you need to the spot you need.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, I hope that this is helpful to somebody else.
Hopefully. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for watching. I mean, if you learn this stuff, you'll get paid to make content for content farms.
I think, I bet you could make a 5-minute version of this video that you just say all the things that you do really quickly.
And it would be as good?
It would be more useful on YouTube.
Yeah.
Say if you're trying to get YouTube hits. There's also one of those, there's something that like shows the key presses that you use.
Oh yeah, like one of those professional like people like tutorial software things, and like your mouse has a little like a yellow ring around it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's one of those special ones. I thought Apple has some of that stuff built in though.
If so, I'm sorry I didn't do that. I also didn't. We didn't do any Google effects.
Yeah, you always say, "Oh, we got to do Hangouts, not Skype," because I love these effects.
Yeah. We didn't do any of this. Sorry. All right. Well, is there any more questions? Do you feel like I didn't talk about anything? Download Premiere legally because it's overpriced.
Only thing, show me how you scrub through the timeline because it keeps on jumping around on me. I feel like I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah, that's actually probably a really good thing.
Because I feel like I'm gonna do a lot of that.
Very quickly.
I'm like zoomed in, and I'm trying to scrub around.
So you could just hit play. I'm gonna hit mute so I can hear. So you could just hit play, and you're listening to it in real time. So the other tools that you're gonna want to know is the J and L tools. So L will start moving forward in time faster, and the more you hit L, the faster your cursor will go. And so you'll hear like,
oh, cool.
And so if you want to listen to a good thing that probably you're going to want to do for us is like, you've already heard this conversation, hit L twice so that it's just a little bit faster. It's almost like listening to a podcast in 1.5 speed, like a lot of people are do. And so then you can listen back to like when I do interviews for work, when I'm watching like a video interview, I usually listen it a little bit faster just so I can, I'm just trying to hear the information. I'm not trying to like be a viewer enjoying the content. Like, yeah, hit L once, it'll go a little bit faster. Twice, you might still be able to understand what they're saying. Maybe not. Hit it again, you're just scrubbing real fast through. Hit space bar to stop it, to play it back again. J is the very opposite of that. So back, regular speed, back really fast, and then the more you hit J, the faster it will go the other way. Is that what you wanted to know?
Well, yeah, and that's the only way you get around. Like, what if you want to go? So you just zoom out, click where you want to be.
Here's another good way to get around. So say you have a bunch of cuts because you edited the whole show. So I'm gonna add a bunch of cuts here. Get them all around. Another good way to jump around is say you're at the beginning and you're like, okay. Say like, okay, I just need to move through this. You zoomed in. I just need to move through my video a little bit to get to the next spot. If you hit the up and down arrows, that will jump you between each cut. So that's a navigation between each cut.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, if you look, up is back, up is moving back in time, down is moving forward in time, just jumping to each cut.
And then left and right is?
For left and right is just one frame at a time. Yeah, and here's a little bonus fun thing that is always a great thing to do with video. You have somebody's face let's find somebody's face. Let's see. Oh, dang. I guess this is like low frame rate because it's Google, but if you find two frames that are right next to each other and you just hit back and forth on your arrows real fast, you can make somebody be a GIF. It's something.
Yeah, it doesn't really come through very well on Google, but I'm sure it's great.
No, it's really funny when somebody's making like a really ugly face. Like,
yeah.
If you're interviewing somebody and they're like, you stop at a frame and then you push the forward and back arrows really fast. They're like, It's a really good goof to play on people.
Okay, I'm doing it with video. It's already pretty fun.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
It's just people running.
Yeah. And it kind of looks 3D too if the camera's moving. That's like, it's almost like
Yeah.
one of those GIFs called legal stereoscopy.
Wow, this is way too much fun. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's one of the funs of being, the only joys of being an editor.
All right. Cool. I think I learned a lot. I'm going to try to edit this episode, and you do your episode, and we'll see what happens.
I mean, they'll be done. That's what will happen.
Sorry. But I'm not going to like cut out a lot of stuff. I'm not. If you sound stupid or racist, I'm not going to cut it out. And if I sound stupid or racist, I'm not going to cut it out.
I don't think I was racist. From what I remember.
I was just like cough.
It's very easy to be racist in this day and age on the internet, though.
That's
the
true.
problem.
And with all the black people.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not gonna cut. What would I cut? I'm mostly going through it to like make sure that there's nothing egregious, or like I like
Just like
up and got the door or went in the bathroom.
And look out
And
for
then-
like the breathing, the throat thing. Like just
Breathing, and then show notes.
show notes. Yeah, we need to find the show notes. Yeah, we'll have to email each other about this.
Right. Like, what were you talking about with the X and Y thing?
Yeah. This is great. 3 hours
I'm
long.
excited.
This is really though, like if somebody really wants to start editing the way I do, this is it. I mean, this is a good like start doing it.
Yeah.
It's not everything, but it's like these are the key things. There's definitely some things I left out, but organization, keystrokes, my custom keystrokes, I think they're very useful.
Ripple edits.
Ripple edits are like, I didn't know about those for a long time, and once I started using them, it changed my life for sure. The enable tool, doing that. Yeah, there's like, yeah. If you want to get into video editing, here you go. Sorry, it was 3 hours. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording.
Okay.